TC, Spiritual Shepherd. Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be getting into operating on a higher frequency. What does this mean, operation on a higher frequency? Okay, well, first and foremost, you guys remember the Matrix, okay? So when they would call, when they were in the Matrix and they would try to call to get out of the Matrix, who did they have to go through? Who did they have to go through? This is an internal, esoteric lesson. An esoteric lesson. I'm going to prove this, okay? This is interconnected with the Matrix, but it's also talking about frequencies. So I'm obviously going to put this scale of consciousness, which is the same type of thing, but the person that they would call is the operator. The operator, which is what? The consciousness. The consciousness. The people who were operators were born outside of the Matrix naturally. And they never generally went inside of the Matrix, okay? So they're the operators. They're the purebreds. They're the pure beings, okay? And then there's people who were born into the Matrix, and then they escaped the Matrix, and then they ultimately woke up out of the Matrix, okay? So there's that type of correlation. They would have to go through the operator. They would have to go through the phone, and that is interconnected with what? The pineal gland, the phone, okay? The telephone. All right, operations on a higher frequency. You can see right here, okay, when it's edited, you can see right here that there is ultraviolet, there's, indigo, there's blue, there's green, there's yellow, there's orange, there's red. You can see all this type of stuff, okay? And then above that is high ultraviolet, below that is infrared, and you can see different intercorrelations between what helps the body, what helps the spirit, okay? And there's an intercorrelation between this. Okay, this is where biohacking comes into order, where going to a UV tanning salon is actually good for you if you do it in a buffered period, where going and doing infrared sauna is a good thing for you if you do it in buffered, frequency periods. You have to just find the frequency that's good for you, okay? You have to find the perfect frequency that is perfect for your body, for the way that you emit, the way that you emote in your electrical auric vibration, in your toroidal, tornado, torus field. Tor. What is tor? Interesting, okay? And it's all like a whirlwind, okay? It's all like a whirlwind. And this is all intercorrelated with the bioluminescent field and all this type of stuff. But operating on a higher frequency is spinning this toroidal field quicker, is spinning the toroidal torus field quicker. The tornado inside of you. What is the tornado inside of you? Breath. Your breath work. You can breathe at quicker paces. You can breathe at slower paces. You can breathe at a multitude of paces. You can breathe breath of fire, alternate nostril breathing, Wim Hof method, 4-7-8 breathing, rebirthing techniques, soma breath work. You can do so many different types of breath works, okay? And all these intercorrelations of breathwork is interconnected to your inner tornado, your inner chi, your inner prana, your inner G, okay? Your energy, your chi. And this is also connected, chi is interconnected with air, with the air element, okay? Now, operations on a higher frequency. The reason why I created this is because I had decided that these last few years, it was really about a year and a half, maybe 2 years, probably about a year and a half or less. I just decided to go all in, okay? And just do it regardless of the money. And so honestly, if you guys really want to know, I've spent over $25,000 on self-improvement, self-development, cultivating businesses, a multitude of things. Have I yet to see that return just yet? No, but this month, this day, today, it changes. It changed. The whole thing about this is that sometimes you have to have that buffer period. You have to have that patience period, which I just did a video on patience. I just did it, and that's the biggest thing that I was talking to you guys about is more consistency. See, so I decided I'm going to wake up at 3:30. I'm going to do all these biohacking techniques. I don't care if an ice bath costs $30 a fucking day. I'm going to be that abundant motherfucker. I'm going to be that person. I don't care. So that's how I showed up. I'm going to do biohacking. I'm going to buy $1,000 mats. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And then that just I know that internally just put me in the abundant state. And now I'm just emitting the abundant state. The way I operate doing taxes, the way that I make money, the way that I operate in my businesses, I'm not even flexing. The only thing that I'm saying is that sometimes it takes a year and a half, sometimes it takes 2 years, sometimes it takes that 2 years to be an overnight success, if that makes sense. Sometimes it takes 5 years to be an overnight success, depending on the And sometimes you have bouts of success. So meaning that you have a 1.5 year period, and then that next half year of that 1.5 year period, so that right at 2 years, that's when you're going to receive that first fat paycheck that's going to pay for all of that. So all that was a liability up until then, and then you just got that asset. Now it's an asset, meaning that it's made you more money than you put into it, and you made money back. Okay. Now you also have to cultivate from that time that you invested. So you have to also make money quicker based on what that time was invested in. And then once you get into that point, that's where you have significantly transformed. That's exactly where I've gotten. Okay, so that's exactly what I'm saying is like I've set up a multitude of things. It's taken weeks. It's taken weeks just to do, a multitude of things. So operating on a higher level also requires you to kind of make those mini shifts, mini, like as in small, mini shifts. You have to take those mini stair step cases a multitude of times. And honestly, like, it's really seeing the fact that you can cultivate as you start to stair step. It becomes easier to get to the higher planes because it starts to become more like an escalator. So down here, it's like bigger steps. It's like fat ass steps. You have to like do some pull-ups and shit and like climb up. You're like, oh shit, and then like the middle way through, it's like, all right, I can like just do some regular stair steps. And it's like, I do some stair steps at the gym. Then, as you start to get into like the higher frequencies, like the, 741 hertz frequency, the 852 hertz frequency, it starts to become more like an escalator where it's just like, oh, yo, and then you got your elevator, like stuff like that. So that's how the vibrations are. Okay. I really want you to kind of look at it like have that internal state of being, or like climbing a rope, Now, with that too, operating in a higher frequency, the reason I created this video is because when you operate on a higher frequency, it's also about letting go of lower frequencies. It's also about letting go of lower frequencies. I don't even think about them. I don't even remember, because I've been programming my brain for multitudes of 21 days over and over and over and over again, just focusing on the positive. So I don't even know. Like, that's the crazy thing about it. That's the really cool thing about it. Okay. And so as you start to really channel and move into those frequencies, move into the vibrations of just focusing on good, and then you just stay on that, and you just know, like, I'm doing this for the good of me. I'm just doing this. It doesn't matter about the money. It doesn't matter about anything. Okay. It doesn't matter about the material. I know all that's going to come. It matters about how I'm being. It matters about who I am. It matters about what I'm not doing. It's about me not drinking. It's about me not smoking. It's about me not acting like everybody else. It's about me doing what other people won't do on a day-by-day basis every single day. Just because they won't do it, I will do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that David Goggins mindset, but also like in a multitude of spectrums, in a multitude of pillars, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, cultivating these aspects. As you cultivate these aspects, that's when you start to transcend. That's when you start to really evolve. That's when you start to what? Operate on a higher frequency. And you can see these different frequencies. Okay, so, like peace, love, joy, enlightenment. Okay, well, you have to emit peace. You have to be peaceful. So when somebody is still trying to piss you off, you're still in peace. Can you do that? Are you capable of doing that? Are you going to be operating on that frequency to be able to do that? Because that is what that vibration calls. Okay, or when somebody tries to anger you, are you going to result right down to anger in that low vibrational state, which is easy? Remember, like Yoda said, okay, learn from Yoda, learn from Master Yoda. The dark side is easy to fall into. It's easy because it's the first thing that might pop up. Okay, it's very easy to do. It's the easy route. Okay, but as you start to observe it, that's when you start to really get into the consciousness, where you start to get into the actual spirit and the soul of yourself, where you are observing your ego. It's like, bro, I've been tempted. I'm going to be so real with you guys. I've been tempted like so many times this week on a multitude of levels. And I never gave in once. What did I do? I started listening to things that were on the wavelength of the complete opposite, where it's just like, this is the reason why I started this journey. By the way, I'm 120 days of OJAS retention, bruh. OJAS retention, 120 days. Is this path for everyone? Probably not. Okay, but I am in a relationship and I'm 120 days of OJAS retention. So this is also why I'm operating on a higher frequency. And then not only that, I'm only channeling it into a few things. So I want you guys to really dial that in. See what you need to just dial in on. You guys might be taking too many avenues. I'm not saying don't have multiple streams of income, multiple avenues. I'm saying you might have too many avenues. Okay? I'm not saying don't take multiple avenues. I'm just saying don't have too many avenues. See, me, I was like, all right, trading. I'm good at trading. I make a lot of money trading. Second, business. I love meeting people. I love marketing. I love sales. I love actually getting to know people and seeing their progress, seeing them grow. And I love the business that I'm in, spirituality, cultivating spirituality. So what I decided to do was, instead of being a salesman, I started actually like being chill. I started actually being cool with people, just be like, yo, I've never really been a salesman. I've always been pretty cool with people, to be honest. That's just an observation, an innovation, an innovation, okay? But ultimately, guys, that's what I decided to innovate into my life. I decided to really investigate that into my life. I don't want to be that like pushy person. So I never was that person. I was always like, I'll hook you up. I got you. And this is exactly what I cultivate still to this day in my business. 100%. Okay. And then with this is, I want to be able to travel. I want to be a rich minimalist digital nomad. Now I can do all these things. And this is the cultivation where it's like you set yourself up for a multitude of things. You have certain communities that you're in. So now I have a few different communities. Setting up my own community, a multitude of things. This is not me tooting my horn. I'm just really saying that when you start to operate on a higher frequency and just really focus on, what your purpose is because you've been living it your whole life. You know what your purpose is because you've been living it your whole life. Okay? So we're going to leave this one here. Operating on a higher frequency is really starting to just emit at the higher frequencies. And you have to also stop operating on the lower frequencies, which are easier to operate on naturally because we are taught that. We are programmed that way. We're not programmed to be neutral. We are generally programmed by anger. That's why we have all these fucking flags flying around. Let me say it again. That's why we have all these fucking flags flying around. Okay? Because I don't give a fucking flying fuck about it. That's the funny part about it. And most of you guys don't either. But you guys were programmed. You're like, I'm this type of fan. I'm this type of fan. I'm this type of fan. This is my country. This is your country. This is me. That's you. And it's like, what about we? What about us? What about our world? What about mom? What about Mother Gaia? What about her? Your character is how you care for her. Your character is how you care for her. And I'm talking about your mother. Okay? That's literally what it is. So ultimately, guys, operating on a higher frequency is emitting at these frequencies, not generally these frequencies. That's all I'm going to say, guys. Peace, much love. Namaste. Talk to you guys soon. Everything's in the description.